Oh why are there so many mystery boxes here?
1, 2, 3. More sugar, please.
The mere concept of a baby playing with anti-aging toys, hearing retinol, lymphatic drainage as baby's first words is definitely something. People over on TikTok are concerned for the absolute state that is of toys for kids to play with in the big 2025. Air fryers, mini influencer kits. Nah, because it is so over for these Gen Alpha kids. Or is it? Well, today I am going to be going to 4 toy stores to really see, are Gen Alpha kids doomed to become influencers? Are they being conditioned to become just another cog in the machine? First stop, we're heading into Westfield Southland, so come along. Upon arrival, we're hit with our first toy store of the day, Toy World, which was surprisingly pretty small.
It is really insane to me how they are conditioning the kids to be Christmas Santa hat blueies.
There was a lot of your average run-of-the-mill baby dolls, Coco Melon toys, and brats. The toys were quite tame, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing really controversial in the eyes of social media opinion. So we dipped from Toy World because there wasn't really anything of the sort that people over on TikTok are concerned about. And now we are headed off to our next destination, Toymate, which is quite a new addition to this Westfield I was at today. And let me tell ya, this one store had exactly what I was looking for. I almost didn't even need to go searching for any more toys after this. Now, since it is the beginning of the week, we still chose to leave the house early to avoid any heavy foot traffic. But surprisingly enough, maybe it's because it's close to Christmas, there were so many kids out and about, which I was somehow still able to film without kids crawling into the frame of my shots. However, what I do find to be interesting is that people over in the States talk about how toy stores are void of children. There are constant toy store closures in the US, but it is so much different here in Australia. And the narrative of toy stores are dead was just not my experience early on a Monday morning. Toymate is an Australian toy retailer that started back in 2005. Toymate has recently been expanding to multiple malls across Australia, which is also very interesting, taking into account the narrative is currently that toy stores do not do well due to the uptick in parents buying iPads for their literal toddlers. Right out the gate, Ladoodles.
Are these the lafufus they talk about?
Do we really need that front and center to sell toys? And then we came across the TikTok famous toy in which was said to be an absolute stain on society because why does a toddler need a Stanley dupe? Don't they already have a sippy cup?
Delicious. 1, 2, 3. More sugar, please.
They're conditioning the kids to have more sugar. That's insane. That's insane.
And blue. Pour some purple in there too. Rainbow latte.
Is that supposed to be matcha? And they got Freak Bob.
This is when we started to come across the real deal. The TikTok influencer must have the Dyson hairdryer that supposedly blows real air. So then why not buy an actual hairdryer? I mean, this set came with everything. The roller brush, the diffuser, combs. They really want to brainwash kids into drying their hair. The contrast of girls and boys' toys was definitely strange to see. Boys with their John Deere power tools, dinosaurs, and construction trucks, whilst the girls had a lot of prams, vacuums, and beauty tools. The main concern here being that children are being conditioned into knowing their role at such an early age. A TikToker posted how she saw a self-care set marketed towards babies. This included a gua sha, commonly used for lymphatic drainage, you know, to drain the lymph fluids. Something that I think babies can't quite possess just yet. Even a facial roller was present in this set, which is commonly used to reduce puffiness in the face. Which, I don't know about you guys, but babies don't quite need to worry about that just yet. But another concern posed was how literal babies are being sold anti-aging toys that promotes the worry as young as 12 months old that this baby needs to drain their lymph fluids, that this baby needs to reduce its puffiness on the face. When it's like, hey, this is the one time in your entire life where people think that your chubby cheeks are cute. Now, I can certainly see why people would be unsettled seeing that baby toys are now just one of the biggest industries that profits off of women's insecurities. Though I do think that this toy is almost aimed towards parents who do this kind of stuff on a regular basis whilst the baby is watching and the baby wants to play with mummy's gua sha and facial roller, but it'd be a bit gauche. So here's the Fisher & Price skincare set, I guess. But it certainly does bring into question, are the children's toys overlords trying to get these kids into anti-aging products as young as possible, seeing as the skincare industry is booming in profits? I don't know, just something to think about. No, not the brain rot toys. I mean, as much as people say that the new generation of kids' toys are extremely bothersome, I'd argue that actual poo from the bum content being made into toys that are costing parents a pretty penny are the issue. Especially because, as we will flesh out later in this video, Skibbity Toilet is now shilling mystery boxes in which you have to buy as many as you can to get the funny Italian brain rot guy. Mystery boxes were plaguing this very store in particular. The sheer amount of collectible blind boxes was personally more of a concern for me because, in my opinion, this is low-key child gambling. When I go to the local pub and slaps, I'll slide in a 20 to see if I can get any of those golden big yellow balls pop up on my screen. But with that kind of stuff comes the randomness factor, that thrill of what you could possibly get come up on the screen. In this case, parents are having to spend hundreds upon hundreds of dollars on multiple mystery boxes for their kid to get the collectible rare figure that they so desire. But we'll get more into that in just a little bit. There were also some random YouTube toys that I spotted. Is this a fellow YouTuber? Who is this?
That's a YouTube thumbnail face if I've ever seen one.
I am really in my drama queen element here. Mr. Beast toys were also absolutely everywhere. I did not realize how much motion that guy had with kids' toys. So now we're off to an Australian department store, Big W.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Halo Haley. Halo Haley. I need to get that for Halo Haley. I'm gonna get that for Halo Haley.
This toy range was just as striking as Toy Mates. It had a lot of the same brain rot Mr. Beast toys that were sectioned off in the corner as there are so many better other toys for kids to be playing with than whatever the hell this is that we came across.
So babe, what would you say I got into bed with you wearing this?
Oh This is where it's becoming more and more obvious to me that the difference between the gendered toys are intentional. Tell me why 95% of the household chore, domestic labor genre of toy always had a picture of a little girl on the front to promote the toy. What I do find very strange is that certain lifestyles are promoted to certain gendered kids, especially in the big 2025. I mean, dudes vacuum too. Little Jamesy boy can pick up the Dyson and have at it.
Boys' toys, super sick cars, Monster Jam, cartooned. Girls' toys, motherhood, domestic labor. Do the washing, little Bethany.
Now, moving on to the next section of this video, mystery boxes. Whilst we did come across an array of children's toys that mimicked what adults use in our everyday lives, such as this travel backpack with a phone, digicam, and a set of keys inside.
Those look extremely similar to our set of keys.
The collect all collectible mystery blind boxes were primarily what I was focused on the most. These blind boxes are marketed towards young children who want every single collectible in their mystery box range. It almost encourages kids to gamble, in a sense, in my opinion, as they're having to buy every single one of these mystery boxes until they hit the jackpot. Some of the mystery boxes we came across, such as these Dress to Impress mystery stars, were setting parents' pockets back by $24.99. Furthermore, this brand Zuru mini brands had an endless selection of different kinds of mystery ultra rare boxes that only create such waste as what if you get the thing that the kid doesn't want and now you've got to sink money into a hole that's only being buried by landfill.
It's marketed as collect them all. Yeah, they're like at minimum $15.
There's also this aspect of these little plastic collectible figures being such a waste. They cost like 50 cents to produce and are being marked up like crazy. I say that mystery boxes are similar to gambling because they bring about the same behavior that would present in an individual who enjoys playing baccarat or getting on the slaps. The mindset of, oh, I might hit the jackpot today, but if I don't, let me buy more and more and more and more and more. The potential for addiction is not to be ignored either, as the possibility of that quote ultra rare reward you get from opening endless mini brand bowls bursts that rush of adrenaline and excitement for that kid who's just won the jackpot. Many parents over on TikTok have even shared videos of their children getting that rush of excitement when they're opening these blind boxes, even some mentioning that their child is addicted. That is not good, guys. At all. All of this being said though, it would be classed as low stakes gambling, as people have lost their entire life's savings, their rent money, mind you, in thinking that the Dragon Link slaps are gonna bless them after the 10,000th slap with no free spin. But what I am worried about is how many kids I see on social media getting such a quick hit of a dopamine rush, only to break down into tears if they don't hit that jackpot. It is also very interesting that many of these kids who do these unboxings with their parents over on TikTok tend to really like the element of surprise as opposed to getting the reward, which is unfortunately what a lot of gambling addicts have to contend with on a daily basis. It's that what if I win the grand mentality? And to really test this theory, because I can't take y'all into the pub, all right? That's something we can't do here on this channel. I, as a 24-year-old grown-ass woman, was even really upset when I didn't get SpongeBob in that box.
Oh my god. Who'd you get?
Oh my god, I got Squidward, bro.
You're Squidward.
I got Squidward! I didn't want Squidward!
Patrick, mugged by Patrick.
Now, let's address the final elephant in the room. Makeup and influencer sets that have been infecting these toy stores that people are complaining about over on TikTok. The Sophie 16 doll, the vlogger kit, and influencer set has been coming under fire over on TikTok for promoting a rather unconventional way of life towards kids. We quite literally did not come across even one of these toys. We went to Toy World, Toymate, Big W, and Target, I had the time today. I was really looking for these influencer kits and we just couldn't find any.
I don't think Australia really wants any more content creators because we have not seen the influencer kits yet.
It does make sense as to why kids would want to play pretend with what's most popular at the current time. Kids have always had that fantasy of being famous one day, and right now they're playing make-believe with being an influencer or a TikToker. Whereas back when I was a kid, O1 baby here, haha, Janzi. Kids in school either wanted to be a movie star or a singer. When I was a kid, at the ripe age of like 5, 6, 7, I used to watch so much Lizzie McGuire. I wanted to be Hilary Duff. Random law drop, but I used to force my mum to do photo shoots of me in trendy kid clothes so that I could live out my dream of being Hilary Duff. That's why I don't necessarily see much of a harm with those kinds of toys, as there are all sorts of things in these toy stores that are being promoted to kids as the quote right way of life, like being a doctor, like having a labor manual job. Yes, I would much rather 8-year-olds be playing with a wooden beauty set as opposed to buying Drunk Elephant and destroying their skin barriers with retinoids, lactic, and exfoliating acids. It is quite normal for these very toys to exist, as I was always playing with those iridescent, glittery pink flip phones with lip gloss cascading the inside of the phone. Let's not forget those Winx Club makeup sets either, because when I was a kid, I always saw my mum with her makeup products. So you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to be just like mama. It's only different these days because we see an actual problem. Sephora kids. Parents with absolutely no brains taking their kids into Sephora and destroying their skin barriers. That just was not happening when I was a kid. You can definitely see the cultural differences between the toys available for kids in the States versus kids' toys here in Australia. Work from home sets and influencer kits seem to be the rage over in American toy stores, whereas here in Australia, yeah, not so much. And maybe that's just anecdotal evidence that I've presented in this video due to it being my experience. Maybe where you're from, it may differ quite a bit. Though through my experience with this experiment today, I think if we want kids off of iPads and we want them out of Sephora, we also can't say no to make-believe toys. There's a lot of criticisms to be levied at toy companies and what they are producing for kids these days, much like what I've presented in today's video. However, I do think that social media tends to moral panic quite a bit over these kinds of things, especially because so many people really forget about what kinds of toys we had when we were kids. With all that said, thank you, Yappers, for your stay at Yappersville today. Tell me in the comments, have you been noticing this become an issue in your area? Maybe you have little siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews. Do they take interest into these kinds of toys that we've spoken about in today's video? If so, share your story below or email me at dramakweensubmissions@gmail.com. I just wanted to also give a quick update on the art commission from last video. I'm currently in the process of reviewing and shortlisting a bunch of artists, so within the next couple of weeks, if you have sent me your portfolio or your work, be on the lookout for an email because I might have chosen you. Take care of yourselves and most of all, love your fucking selves.